here on a quick live on the verticals. So, working on some of the vertical lives, see how this kind of works out.
Haven't figured pop in for a little bit. Gonna start scheduling some of these. So um, the whole goal is to schedule these lives. I'm doing a whatchamacallit, a YouTube Academy vertical class thing. So learning about these new features that they have. So this will be something there. What's up? What's up, John? Um, so making a point to try to do some more of these lives here. So just hanging out for a little bit. But I'm doing a YouTube boot camp workshop thing for like 8 weeks, and the whole goal is to do these lives. So vertical rather. So it's like a new feature, and they've picked some people to do that. So I'm gonna start scheduling these, so you might see that there. So that's something I'll start doing. But today was day one of the academy class. So if you have VA claims questions, a veteran, feel free to share the live. Just hanging out for a little bit, popping in for sure. What's up, George? Hanging out here for a little bit and just trying to test these things out, see kind of what's going on. Let me actually share this here. So that's the whole goal, trying to spend a little more time. So I appreciate you guys and gals commenting, sharing. I have another video that I'll be posting either tomorrow or Thursday. What's up, Paul? I'll be posting on Thursday, and I'll be covering protected time frame. So the 5-year rule, 10-year rule, 20-year rule. So that'll be there. Then I have a whole bunch of different ones. So the goal right now is to do a week, every week, about Thursdays. I'll start trying to drop a video. Shorts, I'll drop those kind of like, in between here and there. So that's the goal. If you have questions, obviously, feel free to pop them into any of the videos. I respond to as much as I can as they come in. So if there's questions you want clarification for, depending on what you all ask, what's up, Leah? I will make videos answering those things, right? So the whole thing is to kind of answer the questions that may come up. But yeah, so again, to recap, I'm in this um, creator thing that they got going on. What's up, Darius? In this creator program that they've created. It's a YouTube Academy thing for like vertical lives. So this is like on a mobile device. I like doing things on a computer, but they're pushing for these as well here. So these are some things that I'm just trying to focus on. I'm gonna start scheduling these so that I can kind of hang out for a little bit, answer some questions. So that's kind of the goal as they're trying to push us to do more. So just kind of rules of how I do these lives. If you have questions, pop them in. If you have a veteran that you know, feel free to share it. I just kind of sit down and answer questions as best I can. Nope, not hey John, not Nigerian. Actually Dominican. Feel free to share. Check out some of the videos that I've posted. There's a lot of stuff that's obviously going on. So the goal now is to have a video every Thursday on different topics. The next one coming up is going to be on the protected timeframes, 5-year, 10-year, 20-year rule. And then if you look at the previous videos, you will see that I covered what's going on with those, what's going on with these proposed changes, what's going on at the VA specifically. So a lot of veteran topics or whatnot. So if you know a veteran and they need some information, we do a little bit different here on this side of the house. So feel free to share these videos. I'm gonna try to make some point, make a point to pop in and share, create more. If you have questions specific, feel free to pop them into the videos, and we'll start commenting as needed as well there. I'm indifferent to straws. I mean, it's funny you say that. I literally, I got a little, I don't really use straws, so not much there for you. Um, of all the things that we could prioritize, but no. That's the biggest thing. Tomorrow night, I'm doing Acer CMP. So for those who don't know, link in my bio. I do a live CMP class. I don't do that on social media because there's a lot of things I can't say on social media that gets kind of flagged, just as a heads up. So if you click the link in my bio, you'll see the different classes going on. So tomorrow, it's Acer CMP. It's a live class at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard. And then next week we're doing navigating VA claims. So every week, every Wednesday, I teach a live class. You have to sign up for that. But I'm on a academy, YouTube academy for vertical lives. So the focus is, doing verticals like this on mobile. So I'm gonna start scheduling some of these, pop in and whatnot. So on top of the videos that you'll see Thursdays, I drop a video. Shorts, I drop them as they come, and then obviously scheduling lives and things like this. So that's really what it comes down to. Any veterans, if you're a veteran, let me know in the chat right here. What branch of service were you in, if you served, and what time, what years did you serve? I always like to ask that. I think it's just good to always kind of get a gauge on where folks are at. So these lives, like, it's just pretty much like a pop in Q&A. I don't have a set agenda for it. So if you have questions, it's kind of hanging out for a little bit. I was live on TikTok earlier and popping up on this side of the house here. So making a point to come on this side a little bit more, especially as other platforms potentially may go or come. So you know how that goes. Let's see, we got Darius in the building. Army 99 to 03. Let's see, CB Daddy 7 in the building. Navy CB boot camp December 08. It's crazy. I went into the Army in 99. Darius, think about it, man. Wasn't that just yesterday? Weren't we just in boot camp yesterday? Where in the heck? It's funny. Like, kids are reading about 9/11 in books. It's insane. John's in the building. Thanks a mil. United States Marine Corps, 2000, 2004. There's a special place in my heart for the Marine Corps. I'm an Army veteran myself, but I'm actually a graduate of the Marine Corps University Command and Staff College. So I spent some time there after I left service. I am medically retired, so I'm DP. Maybe I should have started that way. I'm DP, founder of Veterans Network Champions Club, VNCC. I'm a medically retired federal law enforcement officer and adjunct professor. Spent some time in Homeland Security. And with Homeland Security is where I went to the Marine Corps University, representing the interagency. And I'm also an Army combat veteran with deployments to Iraq, and also a 9/11 responder in New York City on September 11th. So a little bit of that there. I'm Domino's Pizza. What would you like to order? Keeping it simple. Just let me get some wings, let me get some breadsticks, and let me get a little pizza added there. So there's that part. But yeah, Darius, crazy, man. Wasn't that just yesterday, man? We were just in boot camp yesterday. Man, I tell you, I can't even make it up, man. But now for these lives, I'll repeat myself a lot just because people come in and go. But I'm trying to make a point to come on more live here on TikTok. Same username. You'll see I have a lot of traction there. But I want to start shifting on this side of the house. I'm also in a creators academy, a YouTube academy for like vertical things. So it's like they're pushing us to create, vertical lives like this on mobile. So that's something I want to start doing, scheduling them, learning the ins and outs. So today was our first session, and wanted to just kind of pop in and just get some reps in and kind of do these lives. So it's different. I'm not really used to doing it on this side of the house. But yeah, I'm DP. Check out the videos that I've posted every Thursday. I'm trying to drop a new video. I'm dropping the protected years, so the 5-year rule, 10-year rule, and 20-year rules. I covered a little bit about the proposals for some, reductions that are out there. So check out those videos that are trending. And I have a few other stuff, what's going on in the VA, the Doge thing. So I'm covering those type of stuff. I don't get political with it. I'm more about the facts. I don't fear monger. I don't do the clickbaity stuff. I just give it facts and try to, make a space to, uh, you know, get our veterans some information, some hope, right, without having to already trigger a trigger propensity type of demographic. So if you know some veterans that want some information and want some help with their claims and some perspective, this is the place, right? Is how we're trying to create it. So a little bit of that there, but again, for those there for sure, popping in, Army folks, Marines, the Navy folks, the Air Force folks, the CBs, the Coasties, the Space Guardians. If you served, for sure, let me know in the chat here what branch of service you were in, or if your family served, shout out to them as well. Military is welcome, active duty is welcome, as well as our family members and supporters for sure. Let's see. Darius said right for sure. What's up, pizza? Served from 2013 to 2019. Army in the building. George Diego, my brother, what's going on? John, what great news on the education. Yeah, check for sure. Sean Perry, 01 to 21, retired Army, CW5. Sean, man, look, Chief Perry's in the building. I tell you what, man, don't call it a myth. Don't call it a comeback. If you know anything about the military, man, chiefs are hard to come by, man. I tell you what, are you sure you're here? Are you sure you were here, Chief Perry? Because I tell you what, man, if you see a CW, you don't see them too many places. A CW5, man, look, them cats, you guys are ninjas. You see a chief, man, look, them cats be like ninjas. So if you see one, man, grab a hold of them. But I'm glad you're here, man. 20 years, just like that. Where does the time go? I blinked and 15 years left, and that's crazy. Literally, that's just insane. 1999 went into the army, and fast forward, here we are. Can I get some of that non-negative Ghost Rider? That's gonna be a hard pass on that poop. Angel Marrero, greetings, my brother. 83 to 98 Army Tank Commando. What's going on, Angel? Good seeing you again, my brother. Let's see. Greetings, V. Reevaluated my PTSD at 70%, 55 static for increase due to war. TDIU. My intent to file is from 2023, qualifying for the PAC Act back pay granted. Increase should. My ETF be on? Yes. So because if you got it in by that time frame, they should push you back. So if they don't give it to you, try to do an HLR because they have sometimes jack those up. But as long as you're in that time frame, Angel, I think you should be definitely good for sure. I really appreciate you, brother. Not enough, man. Listen. My brother Perry, man. People do your work. Let's see. We got John in the building. U.S. Navy just retired, December 1st, 2024. That's crazy, man. I'm telling you, man. All these retirees, man. We're in a whole nother station of life. It's insane. Thinking about going to the army. I really want to serve. That's noble, Jay. That's noble. Regardless of what everybody says, I did a lot of things in the military. One of the things that I did also, I was a recruiter many moons ago before social media. What I would say, man, is do your due diligence. We're the military. I'll tell you, Jay, is like we're like cousins, right? We give each other a lot of shit. You know what I mean? If you're Army, we'll give Air Force shit. We'll call each other, we'll do all these things and crayon eaters and chair force and all the things. But when it's all said and done, really, pick the branch that works for you. Pick the one that you feel that aligns with what you want to do. Do your due diligence, obviously. Try to get a good score to get the job that you want. Think not only in service, but out of service. I will tell you that from my time in the military, not only did I get my undergraduate, I got my master's degree. Then I went on to get a second master's degree. I went on to teach as an adjunct professor as well. So I never had any student loans. I maximized all the benefits that I had in the military. I joined, Darius knows this, back in the day, man, we had no internet. I was taking space age flights. I was in Alaska. I would have traveled, man. I did things. I enjoyed it for what it was worth, and if you feel like you want to serve, I respect that, regardless of what people may say. Do it for you, but have a plan is what I would offer to you, Jay. Have a plan. I understand times are difficult, but you know what? Difficult times are always around, regardless of what. I feel that if someone feels a desire to serve, that is to be commended in our day and age, especially now. But pick something and have a plan. Is what I would say, because before you know it, read the comments here. People blink, man, and look, you got the chief retired. You got, Darius is retired, man. Like 1999 was a long time ago. So I said to say that it's the best times in the worst of places with the best of people, right? The best people I've known that have come in contact with came from the military. In the military, I've made some of the best connections in my life. So the biggest thing I would say for sure is, do your due diligence, find something that aligns with what you want to do, but also have a plan for after service, secure your benefits, maximize them, right? Take classes, educate yourself, get a career, do something not only in service, but outside of service. And if you choose to stay in service and do a career out of it, plan, you know what I mean? Because you have a lot of opportunities, right? See the world, experience new things, make new friends. I don't know how old you are, but, live is what I would say. Live. So I appreciate you for, asking that question, because I know some people are going to always say, go this, go that. The biggest thing here, man, is pick the branch that works for you. Again, the Army is a great organization. The Air Force is a great organization. The Navy is a great organization. The Air Force, the Navy, the Marine Corps, great organization. It's ultimately all comes down to, what you feel, you are driven to, right? And there's so many jobs too. The biggest thing is try, study up, do some due diligence, ask some questions. and then make the informed decisions you choose to make for yourself. Good luck. What are your thoughts on the civilian employees, such as those doing loss preventions in stores? Ah, you know, civilian employees, look, it's a job. You know what I mean? So I'm not really against it. I did loss prevention for a period of time, way back when. Start educating yourself about benefits. Day one, week one, 100%. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. That's one of the things that you may hear from time to time. DSL, here we go. You got mail, man. Look, Sean, don't take it back now. Do not take it back. Shit, man. Give me daggone freaking flashbacks of them days. And if God forbid somebody picked up that phone, man, I tell you, you were disconnected. High speed wear. Golly, my man took it back to the AOL dial-up. For those tuning in, man, just hanging out for a little bit here. I'm DP. The goal here is to create content for our veterans specifically. So I'll do a lot of veteran content, teach classes, do different things. So Thursdays, I'm going to start dropping videos there. If you know some veterans, feel free to share the channel, share the videos and so forth. That's the biggest thing I will say. And then tomorrow night, link my bio, you'll see the different things that we're doing. So I have my own organization as well, but I'm teaching a class tomorrow night, acing your CMP. If you know anybody who's active duty, for those out there, this is definitely an ask. If you know anybody who's active duty, please check out the link in my bio. I have or go to veteransnetwork.club, veteransnetwork.club. Links in my bio, but I did put together a course for active duty personnel, a BDD course, so navigating BDD claims. And that's an all-inclusive course for active duty folks to be able to start the process of filing a VA claim. So I have modules in there, videos that I taught, I recorded, as well as resources, go-bys, and different things in there to help them. So it's 10 modules. It goes from start to finish. So you have time to work through this, and you have a resource that you can go. So it's all inclusive in there. Check that out. That's also there. I want to say it's 67 bucks. But it's a great course that we've had some great responses back. So pushing that out there for sure. Reaching out to the VA gurus who are content creators and YouTube stars. There are a lot of changes happening within the VA system as of now. These changes haven't fully rolled out. Many creators see more focus on promoting their own products rather than offering clear, actionable insight. They often discuss they think will happen, any personal stories, feel solid answers. Check out my videos. Check out the last videos. I literally showed it to you. I've been talking about this forever. So right now, the proposed changes, I'll give it to you right now. So if somebody can't give you straight facts, they're just full of it half of the time. Here's the reality. As far as the proposed changes, they've been proposed since 2022. So that's the first part. The proposed changes are for mental health, sleep apnea, and tinnitus. Their suspense date for that was from last spring of last year, then last summer of last year. It went up to April of this year, and now it's been pushed out to August. Check out my last video for the proposed change for mental health. I kind of covered that as well there, and I link also the previous video where I actually went into a deeper dive to show you exactly where these changes are and what the changes mean. I don't care about the changes because I don't really think they really matter so much as people think. If you understand what the changes are, change is inevitable. I think it's about educating our veterans, not fear-mongering them on, oh my God, the sky is falling. The sky's not falling. Change is going to happen. Medicine advances. Rules change. We just adapt and overcome. That's what it comes down to. So it's not that crazy a deal. But sadly, that gets the clicks, that gets the views, that gets people to, give you business, I guess, right? To John's point. So that's the biggest thing there for sure. That's one of the more pressing things, but things are not going away overnight. That's the biggest thing. And if a change does come out, that'll be notified. It'll be an implementation date, and then if your claim is in process, you will be rated according to the most favorable claim. So let's say you have a claim in place, and it's pending, and it hasn't been decided. The proposed changes for mental health kick in. They're going to rate you according to the most favorable one. Just joining, contact information of where I can get a consultation. Staff. Oh, hit the link. Hey, Clausul, link in my bio. If you go to my page, I think there's a link there now, so you should be able to see it. Or go to veteransnetwork.club. That club, veteransnetwork.club. I don't have any clue, honestly, how the heck I'm supposed to. How do I do this daggone thing? Beats the heck out of me. Yeah, but the link in my bio, you'll be able to kind of see the class. Tomorrow night, I'm teaching ACE your CMP. So that's the biggest thing there. And then for our active duty folks, the course that we have out there is the big one for sure. For BDD folks, that's a great course. And I'm wrapping up my ACE your CMP class on demand too. So different services for folks that have asked for it. So based on what people are asking, that's what's creating the content. Let's see. Thank you. Appreciated. Just retired December 1st, 2024. U.S. Navy. Just like that. JD's in the building. Appreciate your videos. A lot of other veteran channels have too much clickbait and fear mongering. Not good for my mental health. And that's what the whole thing. I don't like that, JD. Honestly, and that's where I don't ever think, you know, I don't ever think I'll ever be one of these big name people. Not that I don't want to. I'm at peace with talking to the people I'm talking to right now. I'm at peace that for you, JD, if you can see the content and you can feel at ease that we answered your question, gave you advice, gave you reassurance, gave you hope, that's what matters. Everybody else is over here trying to do all this clickbaity shit. I don't like that. But I understand that's the game they're playing, you know. So I'm trying to now make a point to start getting back into YouTube. A lot of what I do is on TikTok. Actually, I find that I had a better reception there for the way I do things. Here on YouTube is a little bit more different. And to your point, there sadly are many creators with significant followings. I've been here for a while. I just really haven't focused on YouTube, and I just didn't feel like I had a place here, honestly, because I just the way I come at this. So I'm all about meeting our veterans where they're at. So I didn't feel like I had a place here. Fast forward, all this stuff is happening now, and all of a sudden, your same comment, JD, is literally all the comments that I'm getting to stuff that we're doing. So it's like, oh, well, maybe I think there is actually a need for a little more cool, calm, collective, response to things, or actual information. It's like when you look at my videos, I'm actually showing you regulations. I'm showing you the things. I'm not just sitting here clickbaiting you with fear tactics, right? I'm actually showing you, hey, this is what's being proposed. And again, giving it to you straight right now. There are proposed changes to our mental health rating, to our sleep apnea rating, and to our tinnitus rating. Yes, that is a thing. However, this proposed rating has been literally proposed since 2022. Suspense dates have passed and gone, so there is no effective date yet. We don't know when it's going to happen. It was supposed to happen the year before last year, and here we are still waiting. So as we pass those suspense dates, they just keep pushing it down the road. But there's nothing that we need to be fear mongering our veterans about, right? So when you look at the video where I talk about that, or you go to my videos, like do like the most popular ones, you'll see the one where I talk about the proposed changes, and I break it down. I show exactly all of the things, like a 10-minute video, but I'll give it to you straight right now. The biggest change for mental health rating criteria changes, we're going from DSM-5, it's key symptoms and all that, to the HUDAS 2.0. And HUDAS 2.0 goes into now domains of impairment. So there's no more keywords. It's just you have to be able to speak to the 5 different domains of your life, all right? Navigating interpersonal skills, things like that. So the way I teach my classes, the way I talk about mental health, is about you speaking your truth, not keywords and all that bullshit. That's the biggest change there. Boom. So I think it's actually gonna make it easier overall for a veteran to argue their claim, but they're gonna have to be able to unpack that and open up. That's the biggest thing there. I don't really have an opinion yet on the new secretary. That's ongoing, so I have some mixed, things like anything else. Talk is cheap when it comes to a lot of these things until I actually see action. So, we'll see. But tinnitus, it just goes back to where it used to be. So now it goes under hearing loss. That's the biggest thing. So it's not a standalone. You have to file for hearing loss, and then you're not going to get hearing loss, but you get tinnitus. And then for sleep apnea, it's going from required CPAP machine to the CPAP is not effective. Boom. There are the three changes. Like, I mean, like, it doesn't have to be this whole big crazy thing. But when I show it to you in the video, I'm showing it to you so you see the actual proposed criteria for rating and you're actually educated. So it's not just fear mongering. Some talking head said, be careful for this. Why? What's the change? You know what I mean? What do we do? How do we combat that, right? So if I just told you what the changes are, I can also tell you then how to argue those claims when those changes come. That's it. But it's uncertain times for sure, and I think that a lot of people, sadly, rightfully so, people are scared because you start thinking like, I fought so hard to get my rating, and then now they might take it from me, or there's proposals for budget cuts and things like that. But these are all things that happen from the CBO, the Congressional Budget Office. I've covered these things. Just every year they come out with new proposals to cut and do things. I get who the OMB, chip person is now. I understand the whole Project 25 thing. I get all of that. However, I'm telling you, somebody who came from government, who was in government, I worked for Homeland Security, I ran programs, wrote policy. It's a process, right? Again, let the smoke settle a little bit, and let's also understand what are the things they're proposing. They proposed the same thing in 2022. They proposed the same thing, a month ago, 2 months ago now, in 2024 for some changes. Again, these are very lucid, loose proposals that at the end of the day, the CBO always does. They also propose not to get fighter jets and get rid of certain ships and stuff. Like it's a whole of government thing. But they always do these things. So, again, if we understand what's happening, it's better than just freaking out our veterans who are already prone to anxiety, right? So, that's my whole thing. I like facts, but facts is not catchy. Facts is not flashy. You know what I mean? So that's the biggest thing there. I don't know what EDC means. I'm an Army guy, so you gotta break that down for me. Um, so, them is my 2 cents there. Where you guys tuning in from? For those that just jumped in, if you're, let me know what branch of service you were in and the years you served. I always like to know who's popping in and hanging out with us for a little bit. So there's that part. And then tomorrow night, I am teaching my live ACER CMP class. The link for that's in my bio, so that's the class I teach every day. Let's see for my AD. Oh, I'm not even thinking of breaking that side of the house. It's funny. So like on this side of the house, I'm thinking all this military stuff. So I'm thinking like, is he asking something Navy and stuff like ETS, EOS, EAS, whatever they call it elsewhere. For my everyday carry, I still have my Glock. I like my Glocks actually, but I'm a 6 hour guy. So a Sig is what I had when I was in Homeland Security, and then now a Glock. So they're much more easier. I still lean towards the 6 out of the house. So let's see. Air Force in the building, 01 to 16. Let's see. We got Lewis in the building, 88 to 05. Yes, old Air Force. That's old. That's old Air Force. But not as old as my OG. I don't have the video here posted. I have to post it here now that the shorts are short. The shorts are longer. I have it on my TikTok, but I'll post it here. My oldest veteran actually is a World War II veteran. He was in every branch of service except the Marine Corps. So he was Navy, then he went Army, and he retired Air Force. Was in World War II, was in Korea, and yeah, old. I'll tell you, old fighter dude, 95 years. He's 96 now. That dude is old Air Force. You know what I'm saying? When this dude showed me records of freaking Air Force days back in the 50s, boy, man, I tell you. But where does the time go, Lewis? Man, weren't you just a kid yesterday? Wasn't it 1988 just yesterday? Crazy how time flies. What's up, Sean? Kimberly, hey DP, Army Gang's in the building, tuning in from Georgia. Shout out to you, Kim. How are you holding up? Sean's in the building, 96 to 19, retired, man. We got the retiree folks up in the building, man. I like it. It's crazy. Jay, this guy named Jay who's just here, he was talking about joining the service. And I'm like, man, look, take it from some old heads that have been around for a little bit. The best thing you can do your due diligence, right? And have a plan. But that is amazing. That is amazing. Man, oh man, where does the time go? I was just telling Darius, man, like, wasn't it just 1999 yesterday? 96 to 19, retired, man. What you doing nowadays, Sean? What's up with you? How you holding up? What's up, everybody else? Thanks for all the positive information. Appreciate you. Yeah, I'm trying to till Thursdays I'm gonna start dropping videos. That's kind of like the cadence I want to get into. I'm in a live creators academy here on YouTube, so they picked some people to do a boot camp for like 8 weeks on virtual. So like this type of live on a phone, they want to start pushing this. So I'll be doing a combination of both. I like doing the other lives on more the horizontals. I can do it on my computer. I can show things and things like that. But I'm also going to be pushing some of this. The biggest thing for me is, trying to coming back to YouTube. I spent a lot of time on TikTok. I found that was a little more receptive to the kind of message I was spitting because I don't do the clickbaity, fear mongering shit that you see on this side of the house. Not hating on people, I'm just not gonna play that game. So it's just like shit, ain't nothing for me. But I think that coming full circle for me, it's like at the end of the day, if I have the ability to reach one veteran and help them be one educated, put away the fear, give information with context, then that matters to me, right? So I'm at peace with the fact that initially it felt like, what was the purpose of trying to really create here? But more so now, especially with what's going on, all the comments that I'm seeing are like, hey, thank you for being level headed, right? Thank you for being positive. Thank you for not clickbaiting. Thank you for not fear mongering, which again, it's what everybody and their mama does because it gets the clicks. I get it, right? If I made a video tomorrow that says, hey, your benefits going away, you get all the clicks. I'm not doing it for that. So for me, it's more like I want to educate, I want to empower. There is hope. Things are changing. There are uncertain times, but it shouldn't come at the expense of triggering an already anxiety prone demographic. Our veterans already are prone to anxiety, depression, PTSD, mental health conditions, and issues. And then you start waving on top of them that you're going to lose benefits and you're going to lose things and this is going away and that's going away. I think that's not the way to go. I think that's very callous of creators to use triggering language to get your view. Because if you get the view, then you get the RPMs and you get paid for that. So it's a business, right? I get it. I understand. I'm not hating the players, I'm just hating the game. And I had to come to grips with the fact that I'm at peace that my job is not to make the biggest waves, but my job is to find the veterans that are looking for something different, that want to be educated, and don't want to be just told a thing with no facts. When you look at my videos, look at the past few ones that I put up, you'll see that I'm giving you information, but I'm showing it to you, right? I'm showing you in the regulation where these things are said. If there's changes coming, I'm showing to you where those changes are said, or the proposed cuts, where they're coming from, what are they saying? Not just saying it just to, hook you, right? Obviously we gotta play the game and make a thumbnail and do that crap, which by the way I fucking hate it. So the other part too is like I loved like TikTok because it was none of that bullshit. It was just I just fucking hit go and I just went and I just talked and people listened. Whereas here, man, I gotta fucking do a damn freaking thumbnail and I gotta do a stupid face and I gotta do a thinking face and I gotta do fucking, cool ass little fucking thumbnail. Sweet baby Jesus. Like I just don't have the patience for it. You know what I'm saying? But it's worth it. You know what I mean? And that's kind of where I have to push myself. I'm like, no, it's worth it. I'll play the game that I have to play on my terms, of course, and push myself to create and have to put more, things in place so that I can help somebody, right? And if that means having to make, thumbnails and get a nice little title and start the video the right way and say all the things. Like I'll do videos and you'll see me. I don't even say my name. I don't say any of that bullshit. I don't do the whole like, hey guys, welcome to DP's channel. Today we're gonna talk about this, but make sure it drops, blah 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 blah. I get it. You know what I'm saying? Um, but that's just reps, right? So I just got to kind of now get into the rhythm of creating content on this side. So people tend to kind of stay in different places. I'm everywhere, so I'm on Facebook, I'm on TikTok, I'm here, I'm there. But I think I really do like the fact that YouTube lets me create content in a way that for some of you guys and gals, for example, if you're looking at filling out a form or doing something, it'll be more helpful to do it in YouTube because you can research it better, you can follow along, you can see how to do a form. So I think it's just more educational in that regard, plus easier to navigate. So there are very much pros. And now they're adding more features like these vertical things so I can just boom, go live without having to, do all this other stuff. So I like that, right? So there's that part. What's up, Apache? How are you doing? So again, that's just my 2 cents. We can play the game, but I'm not gonna not be myself, right? So, if you like what we're doing, I appreciate for sure the support. Share it with another veteran. The biggest thing for me is I'm not selling you shit. I'm not sitting here trying to call you to action for a thing. I'm just here creating content, putting information out. If there are things that we can create to help you better, let's do that thing. I teach classes. Link in my bio. You can see the different things that we have available. But that's only because it's there, right? You choose to find what works for you. But share with a veteran, right? Forward it to somebody. Let somebody know, especially when it comes to all this information that it's hard to get through because everybody's doing the same thing and no one's actually having a conversation with you and telling you, hey, look, yes, there's crazy times ahead, but where did we fucking come from? You know what I'm saying? Like, how did we lead in the military? Like, we're literally in freaking Baghdad and we're getting fucking contact left. And I'm sitting here like, oh my God, the sky is falling. They're shooting at us. what the fuck, man? Get the fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? Like some of these people that are actually talking, I really wonder what the fuck they did in the service. Because I'm like, if you create content and you talk to veterans the way you do, you were probably the worst of leaders of fucking the military because you're literally just panicking everybody, triggering everybody, and you're fucking not providing any guidance or any fucking actual like, you know, uh, you know, thought process to help. You know what I'm saying? So that's the biggest thing for me, man. Where it's like, look, our job is to take care of our people, right? There's someone out there who is lost, confused, who doesn't know what they're doing. So let's support our people. Let's educate our people. Let's give them tools, right? Let's do good by them, and I'm good with that. So you know, and again, my biggest problem is I'm huge on mental health. I'm huge on mental health. I'm huge on mental health. Again, I'm huge on mental health, and I'm triggered when people do things without realizing that. For example, my brother Sean, right? He says sharing, that's what I want to do. So my whole problem is like this. Let's, for example, things are happening, right? And I'm just going to use Sean as an example. If Sean is prone to anxiety and fought all these years to get his rating or whatever the case may be, and now everybody's saying they're gonna take your rating, Sean. They're gonna take your rating, Sean. They're gonna take your rating, Sean. They're gonna reduce you, Sean. This is changing, Sean. Sean's like, oh my goodness, you're going fucking crazy. Like, how does that help Sean? How does it help Bob? How does it help Michelle? How does it help Janet? All you're doing is just triggering people left and right just to get a fucking click, and then they leave the video more lost than they started. You know what I mean? Like I just don't. I get it. I get it because this ain't the sexiest of comments. I mean, of content to do, but I think it matters. I think it matters to be able to meet our people where they're at, answer the questions of what they got going on. You know, in some shape, fashion, or form. William, let's see, went from 10 to 90 thanks to you. Man, look, that's it. That's what it is. And can nobody take that from you? You know what I'm saying? You're empowered, you got what you had to. And I don't profess that every veteran is disabled. I don't believe that. I don't believe that everybody goes to 100. I don't believe that. But what I do believe is that if William has an argument to make, let's give William the tools to argue his claim with his truth. And if his truth lands him at a 90, then good. That's it. That's it. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't have to be this flashy thing. And this whole concept of browbeating of like, oh, why did you do it? First of all, you know, again, I go on my rant sometimes, and this is one of them. I didn't need your permission to sign the dotted line. I didn't need your permission to serve. I didn't need your permission to go to sick call or to get health care or to do a thing. So why in the flying fuck do I need your permission to file a claim? This whole concept, like you think, like people think that they own the thing. Oh, why? Because who the fuck matters? First of all, if we got money to send to Ukraine and do all the other bullshit, they can fucking take care of our fucking veterans. Again, I'm not saying everybody's disabled. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying is if you have a disability and you have a claim to make your argument, regardless of what anybody thinks. Fuck people. Fuck somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, you have to argue that to the system. Oh, I know some veterans that are working, are doing some things. And I know about 5 fucks right now in the projects that don't belong to the project. I know 3 fucks are gaming the fucking system on Social Security. I know 3 motherfuckers on workman's comp that are fucking pulls of shit. Does that take away from the people that actually need the help? I'm here for William. Give a fuck about Bob. Fuck Bob. Bob's gonna get caught, and when Bob get caught, Bob gotta deal with the consequences. I'm not here for that. I'm here for the guy that needs and gal who needs the help. That's it. But I don't believe in browbeating and talking down to people on some, oh man, you shouldn't do that. You're taking benefit. You're taking what? First of all, I don't give a fuck. Figure it the fuck out. Because when you needed me to deploy, it wasn't no ODP, don't deploy. Send somebody else. Nah, my ass lottie dottie was gone. So now if I'm dealing with issues post service, it's my right to file said claim. That's it. And they'll not give you anything we don't deserve. 100%. So many people made it bad for people who don't. But fuck those people. Because guess what? Look, what goes around comes around. But the fact of the matter is that there's somebody else out there who really does need the help and the support. And while it makes it more difficult for them, it's about more empowering them as well. Because the system is the system. The system doesn't care about stuff. It's us internally who do that. The system never says don't file a claim. The system doesn't ever say don't do a thing. It's us internally who feel like we're now the gatekeepers of a thing. First of all, sit your fucking ass down. Nobody asked you for your fucking opinion. Because I didn't need your opinion when I deployed. I didn't need your opinion when I signed the dotted line. I sure as shit didn't need your opinion when I was injured. So why the fuck do I need your opinion after the fact? Because you suppose to have an opinion? Well, guess what? Your opinion's like an asshole. Everybody fucking has one. what I'm saying? Not obviously you guys, but you know what I'm saying. Like it's just my sentiment to people where they feel like I have to prove or tell you a thing. I don't have to tell you shit. All I gotta do is freaking be me, pay my taxes, and freaking kick the bucket when the time comes. Um, but there are truly veterans that are hurting, that are scared, that are underrated, that need services, that need help. And time passes. I just had a veteran who literally, his daughter reached out to me last week, and he died. Had a heart attack. He was trying to file his claim for his heart condition. So now the wife and the daughter are gonna continue the claim, you know, uh, in lieu of him because of there's a time frame afterward. He died for something that he was trying to fight for service connection, and he was ready for other things as well. But that's the reality. We have veterans that are passing away for conditions and things that they've dealt with, and they never got the help or treatment for those things because of all the stigmas and all the things that they just didn't know. But that's my take. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, not for everybody, but we're definitely for somebody. And the whole goal here is to again meet our veterans where they're at. But yeah, tomorrow night doing navigating VA claims. So that's YouTube. That's the class for tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then Thursday I'll pop the next video in for sure. Um, Doing this live vertical creator academy course thing workshop. So for 8 weeks we'll be doing different things. So I'm gonna start scheduling some of these. I'll do lives on a computer in horizontal landscape mode and also verticals like this. So I think this is just kind of good to just pop in, hang out with y'all for a little bit, answer some questions, and kind of go at it that way. So, and then I'll figure out how to schedule these also, so you kind of have those pending, schedule reminders, things like that. So, meeting our folks where they're at. But that's the goal. Try to spend some time and do some things here. But I appreciate the support for sure, and those that have commented have watched the videos and things that we're doing. So a lot more to come as we proceed to give our veterans what they need. Let's see. What else? What else? What else? I had a CMP exam today. How'd it go, Sean? What was the CMP for? What was the CMP for? Thanks for the likes, Patchy. Appreciate you. What's going on, Jack? Jack's in the building. Hanging out for about a good another 5 minutes or so. Then I start shutting it down. Gotta go record some stuff and do a little more behind the scenes work. Let's see, but yeah, how'd it go? What was the CMP for? Let me know. You're very welcome. Appreciate you. Appreciate you. Increase for gout, both knees. Okay. I'm currently dealing with a med. Okay. Did they give you a date for your MEB yet, CM? Did you just start it? Are you in the process? What's going on with that? And learning as much as I can. CM, if you just start the process, I would definitely encourage you to check out my BDD course. The link's in my bio. I put together a whole course for those folks active duty. It does cover a lot of things too that are applicable to the med board process. But as far as the whole VA claim process for active duty people as they're leaving, it's about 10 modules in there, and it kind of goes through the whole 9 yards. I legit just started. Yeah, so yeah, check out my BDD course. Um, it covers pretty much the entirety process of the VA claims for the active duty folks. Things to start planning, things to start doing, etc. Video modules are in there, go bys, templates, things like that for sure. So it's a really good course with a lot of good information. Someone said it was like VA claims for dummies for active duty folks. I'd never call it that, but if you're leaving active duty, whether it be regular ETS and retiring or like a med board, a lot of great information in there, tips, what to do, breaking down the process. So you understand, to your point, you're trying to learn as much as you can, but you're kind of, you're drinking from a fire hose, and then you get to your PBLO, and how long does it take to do all that? So, a big thing. My medical flight extremely slow. It took me about 4 months to put in perspective. Yeah, yeah. So I would definitely say check that out. Link in my bio or veteransnetwork.club. Veteransnetwork.club. Link in bio. You'll be able to see the online course. So there's that part there that I would definitely say to check that out. It'll be very helpful for you. Um, let's see. Sean says, and back as well. The exam was strange. Define strange. How so was it strange? It legit started. Didn't. Okay, got that one. Yeah, define strange. Because if you had a bad CMP, for sure, yeah, check it out. Sorry, I talk about her kids. Eh. I'll check. Um, I will check to see. I'll try to post. I don't have it here. I don't have it on my TikTok. But I got to see how long is it because I might be able to post that short on YouTube. So I'll probably post it after this. One of them is like signs of a good CMP exam, signs of a bad CMP exam. So that's something that I will post to be able to have you take a look at that. 'Cause I think that's also good to know. Like if you have a bad CMP exam, what should you do? Things like that, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, so I talk about kids. Sometimes some of these examiners they'll start going in tangents about stuff that's irrelevant to the price of tea in China. So sadly, that does happen. But the biggest thing is were you able to talk about what you were there for, and did they stick to the things that matter, right? So let me see here. I want to see how long is this video because I'll make a point to pop it into.
Our veteran preparing for their CNP exam.
How? Okay, 120. So what I'll do, I'm gonna pop that into my shorts. So I'll pop in a bad CMP exams, and yeah, and the good CMP exams about 2 minutes long. So now that the shorts are longer, I can pop them in there because before I couldn't pop in something beyond that. So after this live, I'll go ahead and put it's an older video, but it's still good. Bad CMP exam examples of what to do, and then good CMP examples and kind of what to do. So I'll pop those two into the shorts tonight. I think those will be good there. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. No, don't do that. Claiming the whole don't rush this because this proposed. Check the videos. I have them pinned here on the proposed changes. So first of all, there's no reduction to sleep apnea. That's the first part. So let's go ahead and put that to bed. The proposed changes that were announced in 2022 specifically to sleep apnea, what it looked at was changing from for sleep apnea medically required CPAP to the CPAP is not effective for your sleep apnea. That's it. Moral of the story, you basically are just making a different argument. So the argument remains the same. The rating is still 50. The biggest thing is now looking at if the CPAP is not effective in treating your sleep apnea. That's it. In the last video I covered on the mental health, excuse me, I covered the second to last one, mental health changes, and then I linked also the video where I went into some details there. I don't agree with that. Agree with what specifically? And the other part too is as far as the proposed changes, they were proposed in 2022 and there's no date of when it's going to happen. So you trying to rush something that you can't really rush, honestly, it's a whole thing. But yeah. You're welcome, Sean. CPAP is effective treatment for most. It would be a reduction for most. And when I say reduction, I'm specifically speaking about the new claimants. So again, the rating change has not taken effect. That's the first thing. Two, if you think about it, actually, that rating criteria is outdated. It makes no sense. So the fact that that you have a CPAP if the CPAP works, why would they rate you? Like, I understand what you're saying, but think about it for a second. Mental health. If you're on medication and have no symptoms, why would they rate you at 70% for set conditions? If you have migraines and your medication works, then why would they rate you 50% for migraines? So for sleep apnea, the fact of the matter is they've moved to a place of saying, wait a second, the medicine and changes of that makes no sense. If the CPAP mitigates and treats your sleep apnea, then why would you get 50% for that? That's the first part. Two, if they change the criteria and the CPAP is not effective, there are reasons why it's not effective for some people. Some people cannot adhere to it for a variety of reasons, right? Some people have claustrophobia and they cannot treat that. In that video, I break down that. So I can argue sleep apnea currently, I can argue sleep apnea under the proposed changes when they come. That's the whole point. So the fact of the matter is, under the new grading criteria that are being proposed, not effective yet, the fact is, if the CPAP, for example, you cannot adhere to it, many veterans that I talk to who have been on CPAP for a long period of time, they can't use the CPAP machine for a variety of reasons. Some of them have reasons why they cannot adhere to the medication, and there are medical reasons why, right? For some people, they have Parkinson's, they have claustrophobia, they have instances where sleeping, they rip things off. So the fact of the matter is, I can't use the machine because it's not effective to me. For reasons that medically now I know are documented, that's my argument, 50%, boom, done, right? And I break that down. So that's the biggest thing there. Let's see. You're speaking in logic that a treatment works, so reduction should go away. I'm saying 50% rating benefits me more than your justification. So that's my whole point. I'm not here for ratings though. So that's the part where I'm not. I had too many typos. Let me fix it. So I don't do the whole like let's game the system thing. The fact is changes are coming. So I'm not gonna sit here and commiserate on what's going on. My whole thing is like if these are the changes that are coming, they're gonna happen when they're gonna happen regardless. So you rushing something, again, who's to say that it works or doesn't work? My whole point is, if that change happens, then how do you make the argument? From somebody who worked with veterans for all these different years, many veterans are not able to use a CPAP for a variety of reasons. If that's the case, that's the argument. You can still argue the 50%. Contrary to that, somebody, for example, does not medically require a CPAP, they still can get rated 30%. That's my whole point there. I'm not sure if me wanting to be rated on the old system is giving the system. So I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that if something changes, right, what do you do? So the whole point of I want this med board to be fast so I can get this rating, whatever happens tomorrow. So then what? That's what I'm saying. So I'm not negating what you're saying. I'm just being pragmatic and realistic to the fact that, hey, if this change happens, then what? You cannot speed up the med board process. It's going to be what it's going to be, right? You sit here, for example, and, don't get to a place where you can get that done in an efficient time, then what? So, what I mean? I'm not here to, coddle or, confirm. I'm just giving you the facts of how it is, right? There's a problem. There's a situation, a proposed change that may happen, may not happen. You may get out. You're fine. But what if it does happen tomorrow? Then what do you do? You know what I mean? So that's what it comes down to. So as far as like the 50% for that rating there, that's fine. But research conditions, rating for CMP, you're good to go, CM. You got it then, baby. I did not know the medication that I'm currently taking for gout does not work, so she asked me about my diet. And that's another thing that happens sometimes. They may want to go about doing going about that way. You know what I mean? So I get that. But beyond the diet side of the house, again, right? Sometimes they'll try to go down that route to try to figure out if it's something that you're doing there, but they can't necessarily tie it to the diet. So yeah. Let's see. One thing, I had medical records, all my doctor's visits. She did not want to see them. So I would say, in your case, Sean, write a memorandum for record, a quick who, what, when, where, why. Upload it to your claim, and specifically put down there what happened. Right. Try to tell the examiner these things I was dealing with. The examiner in turn was not trying to be receptive to what I was explaining to her. She tried to defer, obviously, by contentions to dietary choices. Right. No. So sometimes you have examiners that tend to not want to listen to what you're saying. So I would do a statement, right, rebutting kind of what you tried to do that she did not pay attention to, and submit that with the claim so that basically the rater now has the ability to see that point there. So that's what I would say for that. Let's see. Ready for my CMP exams, my condition. Yeah. Good luck. Any advice on TBI exams? Mine are coming up. Let's see, I heard it's difficult to distinguish PTSD, TBI. What can I find to avoid them? So I have a video here I want to say on TBI. The biggest thing with TBI is that it gets merged with other conditions. And what happens there is that it's not that it's indistinguishable. Rather, it's that if you're arguing PTSD and TBI, more often than not, what you're doing is arguing the mental health aspect of what caused the TBI, but you're not speaking to the residuals of TBI. So in your case, yes, there was an incident that caused PTSD, check. But my TBI, in turn, has also caused these residuals, and residuals can vary from speech issues, cognitive issues, vision issues, balance, walking issues, things like that. So when you start to talk about the other aspects, again, I have a whole video on TBI, so just like look for it here. For some people, it becomes difficult for them to just not go away from that, because the same thing happens with migraines. So you say, I have migraines and a TBI, I had an accident. All they talk about is the migraine pain, but they don't speak about the other residuals that are part of the TBI. And for the TBI specifically, there are different things that are in there that range from, again, cognitive issues, speech issues, locomotive issues, problems like that. So if you have those problems, then now you're distinguishing that. But if all you talk about is the migraines, then how do we differentiate one from the other, when it comes to that? Let me pull this up, actually, because I think that's a good point. And I'll show it to you here, but I have a video you can also look at, like I said, that speaks to that. So let's go for... All right, so I'll show it to you right here so you can kind of take a look at it. Let me see. Boop. All right, so this is the rating criteria specifically to my point that I was saying, right? So we're talking TBI specifically for you, Kim. So for the TBI, right, evaluation, let me try this if I can focus that. Okay, there we go. For the TBI side of the house, right, there are different things to consider. So one of the other areas here from a residual perspective looks at memory and attention, right? And then those different criteria there. Another one is judgment. Another one is social interactions, orientation, motor activities, visual orientation, subjective symptoms that now start to go into things like you see here, headaches, etc. So if you're not able to differentiate them, that's where things get lumped, because you're speaking only to the migraines, headaches, or PTSD, or the psychological side, but you're not talking to, let's say, other things, neurological behavior. You start looking at that, guess what? Now we're looking at examples of neurological behavior, irritability, irritability, impulsivity. Well, that looks a lot like the mental health side of the house, right? So again, if you have other things that we can argue, start to speak to that. Communication. Do we have issues, right, where, again, depending on the level of the impairment, we have issues, with complex command, communication, whatever the case may be, or consciousness, right? We have instances in some shape, fashion, or form where that is affecting. So that's the biggest things that I would for sure kind of focus on there specifically, because again, the PTSD starts to look at the subjective side of the mental health side. But if you can speak to other things, again, visual orientation problems, or you start to speak to the motor activity problems, which again could be, slowly, movements or whatever, you find yourself, being able to not remember things, etc. Look into that and speak to other aspects of what the TBI is giving you. Because if we look at, again, I'll pull this up here, the mental health side of the house, and I'm at the CFR specifically. And if I look at the CFR, for the mental health side, okay, you have PTSD, you're hitting these symptoms, but when you talk about the TBI, you're talking about a lot of subjective symptoms that are very similar to the TBI. So it's not that it's, it's hard to, to avoid the blurry lines. It's, again, that veterans don't speak to the other residuals of the condition specifically. So that's what I would say lacks for a lot of the arguments for the TBI side of the house. So again, if we go to TBI, what are some of those residuals that are affecting somebody, right? Excuse me. Because if you look up here, right, there are three main dysfunctions that can result from a TBI: cognitive, which can vary; emotional, behavioral, or physical. Again, if you're only talking about PTSD, you're talking to the psychological, emotional side of the house, right? And depending on what impairs you, you can speak to those things. So that's what I would say for sure there as an example for that. So you see PTSD sometimes does get lumped in with TBI. Migraines, that happens also too, oftentimes with TBI, because again, they cannot differentiate that. Actually, so here, if you look at, go to like my page here, right? Just like go to the main page and just like put in TBI, and then you'll see like the different, things I've covered on TBI. So I have like a TBI 101 video you can take a look at there, and just again you get to look at all the stuff that goes all the way back, so I kind of touch on different things that cover TBI. So that's one thing I kind of like about this stuff. You can just kind of go to my page and just do like a little search thing, and then search for like the specific topic that you're looking for, because there's a fuck ton of videos in there. But yeah, that's what I would say for that. Austin's in the building. What's going on, my brother? Good seeing you. Good seeing your name. Navy's in the building, 78 to 98. Thanks for what you do. Went from 70 to 100 PTSD. Currently doing bi-weekly counseling and medication. My brother, it's good to see you, man. Thank you for sharing that. I appreciate you. Kimberly, hopefully that makes sense for you, as far as that's concerned. When is your CMP, Kimberly? Tomorrow night, for those that have CMPs coming up, I'm teaching ACE your CMP, so you can kind of check that out. Tomorrow is that class, so you can check that out on my page there. That's where you find it, actually. If you go to my main page, click on that little link there, and you can actually see, where is it? ACE your CMP, right there. Yeah. And it's a live class that I do for that one, so I kind of go over, what is CMP, things to expect, and I kind of break down the whole CMP process. So that's a big one. Behavioral health is on 220. Check. Yeah, so two big things to hit on. So for the mental health one, that's a big one for sure. But again, get freshened up on the TBI side of the house, speak to the residuals there. And for the mental health side of the house, that's a big one, because again, you have to be able to really speak to the impairment level, how it's affecting you. I really go down that rabbit hole in my live classes. Again, there's just things I can't say on a live video like this because community guidelines, and we're talking about the depths of not wanting to be around and things like that are graphic. Not the best place for it, but that's what I would definitely suggest. So check that out. Feel free to pop in and check those things that we're doing there. But yeah, good. You're welcome. Yeah, you got time. You got time, so you can definitely prepare and be ready. Speak to your truth. The biggest thing I'll tell you, Kimberly, and anybody else, is if you're talking about, especially a mental health claim, the biggest tip I can give you is mental health specifically. It's a present tense conversation. It's not a past tense conversation. So sometimes veterans get stuck on, hey, this is something that I should be rated for because I did this or this happened to me. You're talking past tense and you're not talking present tense. So when we're talking about PTSD or anxiety or depression, it's about what's happening right now, right? So it's 10% past, it's 90% present, is what I usually say in my classes. And it's about you speaking to the present day. How am I impaired today? It's not about what happened to me. It's about what's happening to me. Not about what happened yesterday, but rather what's happened today. So it's not about the incident that caused the TBI and the PTSD, but it's about what is life today with PTSD and TBI, right? And I think it seems simple, but you'd be surprised, because a lot of times we get stuck in this, I should be rated because this happened to me and that happened to me and this took place and they did this to me, or I experienced that thing, but you're not telling me about right now. And that's easy for sometimes to kind of go back in the past and just talk about that, but you're not telling me about the fact that you can't leave your house, the fact that you're anxiety driven, or the fact that you literally are unable to function, or you're literally falling apart, you try to take yourself out, or you have family members who've alienated you, or relationships that have failed, or employment opportunities that you just cannot hold, occupation and socially. These things are literally crippling you in so many different ways. But that's a present tense conversation. And when you're able to speak present tense, what I always say as well is, if you have a DD 214, that means your service is paid in full. So talking about what happened, it's just giving me the origin story, but then you have to tell me what's happening. So it's not about what happened, but rather what's happening, right? And I think, like, psychologically, we can differentiate those two things. It helps us to talk in the present about the day-to-day that we deal with. Because sadly, Kimberly, as I'm sure you're sure, we're just good at bullshitting. We're good at just, everything's fine, right? How you hold up, Kim? I'm good. No, you're not. How's the weekend? Oh, not long enough. Heifer, you try to drive off the damn freaking highway. You know what I'm saying? With all due respect, obviously. I'm just us talking bullshit. But you know what I'm saying? Like, one of those things. You know what I mean? Like, so what you do is, how's whatever, Bob, whatever. oh, everything's good. Bullshit, your wife's leaving you. Kids don't talk to you. You got fired again. Your business failed. You try to go to school, you couldn't even do that shit. So again, it's like we just have this ingrained kind of two tears in a bucket. Who cares? Boo hoo. Suck it up and drive on. Everything that we have done to survive until today's date, sadly, is crippling us. Because the thing is, we're just used to sucking it up. We're used to taking the motor and changing socks and rubbing some dirt on it and all the things. But now you want to get properly evaluated for a disability, you got to let the cat out of the bag. You have to open up Pandora's box, right? You can't just leave it to they know. No, they don't know. They don't know, right? I literally spoke to one of my old buddies from the military today. He has a CMP tomorrow, actually, and very religious person, and we were recruiters 20 years ago together. Went to recruiting school 20 years ago at this point. Jeez Louise. Um, and my thing to him is like, you have to walk in there tomorrow opening your heart. And because he is religious, right, there's a lot of disconnect going on. And what I explained to him is that, the Lord knows your heart, right, or whatever your belief system is. But in his case, I told him, I said, the Lord knows your heart. All right. Actually, I'll tell you exactly what I told him. And again, because I don't think people actually even cover or talk about some of these things in this context. So actually, I'll tell you exactly what I told him specifically. So I asked him how he's holding up, and he said he has a little anxiety, but he's ready. Came to class, the whole 9 yards. So I said, good. The biggest thing you have to do is open Pandora's box mentally, right? Like here, you have to open that box up. Sadly, we put away a lot of things. We put on a strong face and appearances, but we bottle up so much that it becomes the norm. We're just used to putting it all away. Nothing excuses our actions, but the things that we've endured, the things that we've experienced, in some shape, fashion, or form, they've rippled through our lives. Whether it be in our work, our family, or our relationships, and even our faith. Tomorrow, in his case, I told him you have to say the quiet parts out loud. The V examiner does not know your heart the way God does. With him, God, there's nothing to explain because he already knows. But this exam isn't about what he knows, the God of his belief. It's about making the examiner understand how his PTSD affects him every single day, how it impacts his work, how it impacts his relationship, how it impacts his ability to function. The things that he's experienced from active duty to service and post-service didn't just touch, one area of his life. That's just the facts. They change everything, and that disconnect, morally, ethically, and spiritually, is a weight that he carries, and it suffocates him to a degree. Um, let's see. So I said, that's part of the story, and because of his background and his belief system, I said the Apostle Paul, right? He has, in the scripture, it speaks about uh, what I want to do, I do not do, but I hate the things that I do. And the Apostle Paul goes on to say, I love God and the law of God with all my heart, but there's another power within me that is at war with my mind. And I told him, that feeling. How can we seek righteousness but still be drawn to darkness and do the things that we don't want to do? I know I don't want to do this thing, but I keep going into this rabbit hole, to this dark place. So PTSD is not just in his past, but it's also in his present. That's the point, right? Tomorrow isn't about proving anything. It's about telling your truth. The root of it all isn't because your dad didn't hug you or you freaking didn't get, a thing as a child. It's the things you've endured, the people you've lost, the traumas that rewired you as a person. Own that truth, speak to it plainly, and remember that you're not the PTSD, but rather, you are not the PTSD. You are not that depression. You are not that broken person. Rather, you're a man who carries these things in his day to day. Paul, the apostle, never said that the battle in his mind is who he was. He called it out as something that was foreign to him. That's the same for you. You're not weak for struggling. The struggle is the proof that you've been carrying it for so long. Now is the time to say those quiet parts out loud. So when I talk about mental health specifically, right, whether if it's someone who has a religious, propensity or background, we have to remove it from ourselves, right? You're not anxious. You're not an anxious person, Kim. You're not a depressed person, Kim. You are living with anxiety. You are living with depression. You are living with PTSD. But sadly, we make I statements to the mental health side, right? I am anxious. I am depressed. I am this. I am. I would offer to you that I'm not those things, but rather I'm living with depression. I'm living with anxiety. I'm living with PTSD. And this thing has severed my relationships. This thing has taken away from me the ability to X, Y, and Z. And I think that when we have the ability to speak about these things in that third person, as removing it rather, like this thing right here has taken something from me, it helps us make the argument, right? It helps us to better articulate the things that are, afflicting us. Because it's hard to just say, I am all these failures. No, these things called PTSD has taken from me the ability to do, all these things. So some thoughts. I think that is perspective, right? So, but let me know how that goes for you. Keep me posted. All right, good people. That's my spiel on that. But barring any alibis, hopefully Kim, that kind of helped some and gave some perspective there for sure. Hopefully. But appreciate everybody else hanging out for a little bit and following along. Again, the biggest thing here is just spending some time and trying to create some space for our people and meeting them where they're at. So I think it matters for sure. Um, let's see. But yeah, but I look forward to seeing y'all in classes. Again, videos popping this week. That's all I have. So I appreciate y'all for hanging out for a little bit here on this impromptu last minute pop in. But the biggest thing again is just meeting our people where they're at. So check out the videos, be on the lookout, feel free to share, and I will be back. So appreciate y'all. Bum, 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 bum.